I I had to do my acid peel. I haven't done it every day because I was starting to have a reverse reaction, like right here and right here. So that's how I know I'm using it too much. But when these started to pop up from the diet and everything, um, I know it's my body processing the oat milk. Thank God I didn't do coconut milk because it would have been all over here, here, and then it would have been multiple acne over here. So it's to reduce the amount, and it's not fun. Asking for smoothies made with water, so it's just like, ugh. But yeah, 4 grand. Here's what's happening. So in Pretty in Pink, because that was the lead into. We're at the scene where the principal and the girl, okay, Ringwald's character, which is you're missing the point. You're missing the point. I'm trying to avoid that. So at 4 grand all up front, which would be 3,500 plus. Let's see, 3,500, 10% of that. That's 350. That makes it. So I'm giving you a little bit more. I'm giving you a little bit more. Everybody's wigging out, freaking out, but the problem is, um, I hate this diet. Constantly eating to make up the sugar. Um, at 4 grand up front, we already know what's going to happen. Phone calls are going to start at the crux of April 2016, just after the cusp of 2015. Okay? So what everybody's going to start doing, because they know what my resume is, they're going to start grabbing it like currency, and they're going to start blacklisting it, because it's exactly how I know. That bottle slip refund crap, and then the phone call that I have to make with this case manager is all resume related, and it's all tied to the mistress. Okay. That letter was very easy to write, so that means that there was some scrutiny going on, because like I said, the way the argument took place from December of moving in all the way up until Sabrina, Steve, and my mom came to visit, it was sexual frustration to the nth degree to be with the other woman and all that stuff. So I don't know what the hell this man's thinking was, but whatever was going on, it showed up in twos right before the Aruba trip. So then we have him trying to commit suicide, overdosing on Oxycontin, another painkiller, and then taking something to relax the brain, which is where he was just like in a different world. Prior to that, we had the anger blow up in the apartment while he was cooking. So it was like a culmination of everything. Plus, his version was so much better because he had a military degree. Okay, and the problem is that that was set up by the White Rhino Bar rape with that picture, that NRNA picture, which is why I said this was going to be a nightmare, which I'm glad we're looping through. But that's not the point of this Dianetics. The point of this Dianetics is to it was a scramble of, let's just pull something out of the bag, get her to blow up. That way we can fire her for emotional distress, and then somehow get her into another lockup situation. Look, I didn't touch him. Okay, I've blown that Dianetics off and off and off and off and off. It is not something I want to get into. I like Congo. Congo was the movie I was watching before Robert. I says, if there's anything I'll go back to is Robert Redford's movies, because that was the replacement for Harrison Ford. So it wasn't like, oh, she went straight to him. No, 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 no. You know exactly who I'm talking about, because everybody's saying, well, how did she get that song? I earned it. I earned it. I earned it. So whatever politics are saying that she missing what she saw on TV, okay, but we're still stuck in this loop though. So based on the God argument, based on the God argument, that would be no different than God throwing the poison in my mouth, right? Because we're so sick and tired of hearing all these angelic prayers of woe and desperation. If we took the argument to an X-rated version, okay, because we have a politician that likes to talk like that, and it does become uncomfortable because now it forces you to be a very grown woman, which is fine. But if you take it to that level where God seriously tries to kill the evil in the room, and the evil survives it with all medical science, yeah, okay, should have been dead, completely dead. So, taking the crux of the matter is, we're gonna say it's a basic instinct murder. It's a basic instinct murder wish, which is fine. Okay, I get that, but I know for a fact she can't dish out $4,000 to Miscavige. I can dish out $4,000 with all the money I've pissed away over the 4 fucking years during the Trump administration with tea and hobbies and crafts and all the fucking gas that I was running around and everything. No, I could have sat on it, and the money would have gone to the gym, to Barnes and Nobles, sitting there and investing in that Starbucks, which I've got no problem. No problem whatsoever. But the moment Christian comes in, that's an off limit type spending now. It is. It absolutely is, because I had to interpret a freaking actual Freud sexuality dream. It's not that hard. Women are vipers. Women are vipers. And men are just as bad if you are sleeping with men. So what was so hard to understand that? That has been known ever since, especially when we have National Geographic pictures of snakes actually targeting and pegging motion into a turtle shell. I'm sorry. Where did you see docility in that? No, 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 no. Sexuality is very aggressive, which is why I'm asking for no orange and yellow chakra, because that is right there, the crux of HR. I'm asking no for that one. What I'm asking for is what HR should be, which is purple and white, right? Because if we're going to take it to another level of the yoga, because we got to deal with Miss Amethyst in Rhode Island, it's sad. It's sad. It is completely sad to see that I have to ruin a resume because of the fact that it's true, came from a no-name college, but how many kids are going to no-name colleges? It's a handful. It's a handful. And at a cheap tuition rate, it's a lot of students. Okay? You're going to try to get into Harvard, you're going to try to get an MIT, but if you're trying to hit for scholarship, what are the chances of that happening if you put out the movie Legally Blonde showing that daddy's got money? It doesn't make sense. So all that shit that took place in that office made no sense. It made no sense, which means that we're in a complete hire to fire for 6.5 years, thanks to Donald Trump, thanks to a lot of politicians that ran podiums. So now everybody's wondering why I'm considered the quote unquote problem. Not considered the problem. What it is somebody wanted who I had, and I should have gave it up back in 2012. The problem was is that 2012 I technically did not have a home. I was still rendered homeless. And at the time we were dealing with the White Rhino Bar incident, because there is a phone call that was made and a person on that line is documented and recorded. They have it on their database. Don't think that they don't have it on their database. Okay, Miscavige, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm neither a movie star nor an actress nor anything fancy that you deal with on a daily basis. So when you're saying over here you hold all the world's knowledge and information, I believe it. I believe it. Because immediately, that song went to the next level. It did. It did. And trust me, that whole stunt that happened on TV all the way up until I was 11, okay, I'm not really stupid. I'm not really stupid. I can actually work without a resume. And you know how I can work without a resume? Any idea how? Okay. I stayed unemployed as a subcontractor for 1.5 years. That's technically unemployment. Technically, it's an agreed fire. Okay. You want to play HR games, that's what's going to happen. So for $4,000, I'm asking to just get through KFC with little amount of money spent because I didn't spend a whole lot, but I do know when it's time to go. I do know when it's time to go. The month of October in 2017 is going to be the tail end of that paycheck. So I can do one or two things. I jump ship come March 2017, or I jump ship at the anniversary date of July. To jump ship right at March 2017, it actually puts the salary job a little bit more in a heated position because she is sitting at the therapist's office saying that I am accusing the world of being set up. And the problem is that we were number 2 in the Pedophilia Class Act lawsuit, the school that I was at, because of the pastor. So now y'all have a pastor at the main heart of the school in this state in the Vatican. So whatever my mom's mess she made, which she did, she made a mess because these candles should be selling off the freaking shelves, like off the shelves, for it being bad Hindu. Because nobody likes correct Hindu votives. Nobody likes it correct. They don't. They don't like it correct. Nobody likes to hear correct thinking. Otherwise, that mess would have been avoided. Okay. But at $4,000, I'm willing to start playing and experimenting because it's just going to keep looping through and looping through and looping through. The diet is so more restrictive. It's not even funny. Can't have dairy at all. I didn't even think about the pancakes over at Big Boys, but you kind of think to yourself, it's just, it's non-fat milk, something you can't get rid of in bread. But I didn't think about it being buttermilk, though. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. And the problem is I hate fucking hash browns because of what took place in Aruba. So, can't have it. But I have to have it because they won't give you another option for, do you want an extra egg instead or anything like that. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It's a fight. It's documented. It's in blood. I'm not going to go jumping from doctor to doctor trying to see if it's going to change. And this whole fucking argument about it changing every 4 years, I'm pretty sure somebody's holding the fucking information that says it's only for seasonal products that are going with the season. Because I'm not seeing a cow roots with ragweeds. I'm not seeing that. If we were to really go to the highest dote, I'm pretty sure the cow is just sticking straight out of the damn ground. I'm not seeing it as a weed. So for that fucking argument, remember one thing, everybody. Remember one thing. Chemistry and physics is head to head with Hindus, Russians, and Americans. Okay? We slapped the shit out of the Germans. We did. Okay, we did. Because as soon as psychology got all fucked up, we took y'all out. It's just now Americans, Russians, and Hindus. We are seriously in the worst fucking science battle, which is why I didn't do the movie Matrix Reloaded, because I seriously would have sat here and had to change all my math tutorials, which are the hieroglyphics. We actually have a problem in education. Kids are not able to figure out fractions in the course of 3 minutes. The average student should be able to figure out a fraction problem in the course of 3 minutes. That is the most challenging one should take an additional minute and a half. Not a full 20 minutes. You will never get through a test of 20 practice problems in time. Yep. And that's why I wanted to do that as the hieroglyphics. versus me sitting here arguing about civilization Russian versus hieroglyphic Russian, which is known as Cyrillic. Okay. I don't care for that. I need to be able to speak. So if I get a chart and I'm able to find the patterns, which is in any fucking language, if you can find the pattern, you should be able to start speaking it. The problem is because I like to talk. I like to talk and I like to write and I like to play communication. It makes it for a nice, easy learning, but it's not. So I'll have to switch over and leave that as writing because I'll have to write it into a translator, get the actual civilization Russian language versus the Cyrillic, which nobody's able to fucking comprehend right off the bat. So for instance, if you were to read letters, okay, yeah, I don't have those eyes. Like I said, it's all God related. We're not getting into the argument. That's not the point. The point is that $4,000, I'm not freaking out. I'm not freaking out. The problem I have is that the moment I put the money up at $4,000, it's how much shit am I gonna get all up front, because that's a lot of knowing in the middle of absolutely nothing that has started. So if we were to actually take apart fragments of time and base it on that, because everybody's gonna say, oh, it's a brand new loop. And human is to err. Okay. And human is to err. Yep. So that $4,000 is definitely going towards the 2 weeks of unpacking, getting the hell out, or staying the hell out of the house until that salary job comes into play. Because once that salary job comes into play, it's going to be a matter of 6 months before we have to make it right back home because of how she is. Because she's going straight back to the therapist that speaks to Rick. I don't care for him. I don't care for him. If we were to take that Michael Crichton movie to a law enforcement Dianetics, I would be the first to shoot him. I would. Because what happened in that White Rhino bar seriously was a setup by Texas. It was. And how it ended was just fucking obvious. It was just fucking obvious. I couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to go back to the drinking problem. I couldn't. Because it was either sit through that and have to endure a chance of being a Russian roulette little ball, or sitting at home and waiting for the next just cycle through out of it. Yeah. So $4,000, same weights, except for it changes between 500 and 1,000 to 2,000, 3,500, and then straight up to $4,000. At $4,000, that's nothing. Nothing compared to what I spent. So it's complete prevention is what I'm asking. Because I'm hoping the more I stay out of the house, and invest in the home camera. Because we all know what happened to Ariam. She got murdered. That cat seriously got murdered because she was starting to lose her health, and I wanted to put her to sleep, and he went and freaking just had to do something stupid. The worst thing that you can do during this time is be fucking beastie, which is bestiality, which is homosexual, which ends up happening anyways. It does. The more I say no in in the sex part, in the orange and the yellow, the more it ends up being more homosexual in the bed. So this is completely HR here. This is all the shit he created when he was out east. This is all the shit he created with his family right before the engagement. And the problem is that that's what comes first, unfortunately. That's what comes first. Because why? We start throwing a divorce as soon as we see the accountant again. And I wrote that in the letter. So to avoid an LLC, exchange the LLC for YouTube exposure, then put the two Twitter accounts at the same time for lawsuit, one for diet, because I'm going to be accused of not sticking with my diet. It makes it for a tough battle. So on the YouTube, I'm actually going to put on my favorite subjects of certain fields, which is basics and simples, which is fractions, because fractions are everywhere in all the subjects that require math. Partial fractions, partial compositions, that's chemistry. Physics, you need to know fractions, you need to be able to recognize ratios and how to break down equations, which end up looking like fractions. So fractions is what's going to be. The problem is I don't like making it an actual grown-up thing, like an actual Sesame Street tutorial. My fractions are growing up, and now they're dressed too much. We have to undress. It sounds just so wrong. Sounds just so wrong. So fractions is what it is. As far as chemistry goes, chemistry, I'm actually really good with balancing equations in a matter of 3 minutes, because that's as much time as it takes on the most challenging problems. My freaking chemistry teacher threw at us a test and told us we had to get through the first section within 5 minutes because the rest of the test was going to require that amount of time. So within 50 minutes class time, right? That means 45 minutes was dedicated to the remaining part of the test. So, I'm sticking with that. I'm sticking with that. If I find another topic that seems to be fun, it's just because that's a topic I excelled in. It was. When I went back into chemistry in college, I excelled in it so fast that it wasn't even funny. It was super fast. Then when it came to chemistry 2, that's when Taylor came into play and Philip. So that social psychology mess came into play big time. Big time. Don't know what the fuck happened. I have a funny feeling it had to do once again with the turtle and the snake. It is. It's a National Geographic documentation. It does happen. It does happen. Because if you're sitting there throwing a snake into a turtle shell, you're actually creating the actual fucking argument of human and animal cruelty combined together. So you can't do that argument, which means that that person has a very severe disruptive mindset. That's no different than me handing the cat over to somebody that has a fascination with popping eyes. Because that's the first thing that somebody wants to do to a cat that's sick, is pop eyes. That's the first fear every cat has when it goes to an owner. It's the first fear. Are you going to sit there, you're going to torture me, and you're going to pop my eyes, or are you going to sit there and you're going to treat me for what it is? That's how you know if you're what animal owner you are. Can't stand birds. I'll fucking grill her. Everybody knows how bad I want to grill that fucking bird. Just pure freaking hatred. I mean, my sister, she grabs the frying pan, she hits her. Same thing. Frying pan hits her. We're so loving. We're so loving. We're so calm. So calm. $4,000, I'm giving it to you. Make that Congo as HR hurtful as possible, because the way Miriam is, okay, this cat seriously cannot settle for, we have a stash that'll get us through 6 months. No, I need double the amount of stash. Cat's just something. She's just something. And it shows in the spending. It's like Temptations every other damn week. And she won't eat anything else but that right now. And the dogs are eating her treats, which is, I can't get her to eat the little chicken jerky with the fish head on it. She can have it. She won't eat it. She will not eat it. You dumbass. You seriously are a dumbass. That dog didn't do anything. The dog didn't do anything. All you had to do was go underneath the fucking bed. It's What the fuck was Maddie gonna do? She was just gonna bark and sniff and shove her nose underneath the bed. That's it. She can't get it. It's the ugly fucking German Shepherd. Unbelievable. We're still all pissed at him. Yeah, no, we're all pissed at Mr. Ian. Jumped the fence outside, and then we have that whole fucking scene. And he did. He was like a Halloween cat. Off the windowsill, hit the freaking laundry basket, jumped right back off the laundry basket, and stood right in front of the windowsill and went lights out with his eyes. The little. Yep. Yep. So mom had to throw Maddie off her stance back to her owner. Unbelievable cat. There was enough time, given the amount of reaction he did back to where he was at in the starting position, to go right underneath the bed. Oh, a dumb cat. He is. He's the dumbest cat ever. But we love you. You're adorable. Got a lot to learn, mister. Okay. Yeah, $4,000. See, everybody's like, oh, there's going to be some, no, there is no elaborate thing. Problem is that y'all are sitting there saying, what can we do to ruin this person's life? And the problem is, that's my resume. That's my resume. And every single one of these women seen my ex-husband, read a Tom Clancy book, probably read a James Patterson book, and said, I can be Francine next to him. Okay, go ahead. You don't speak any languages. You can't get him to sit down to speak any language. He'll only do it if there's sex involved. Okay? And French is not the language, it's Spanish. Which is fine. He can speak Spanish. The problem is that he's going to run into the first fucking wrong argument. It's going to be the first fucking wrong argument or the first fucking wrong conversation. It'll blend in, but it's going to leave a fucking irritation on everybody. And if he's sitting there saying, no, he's not, that's because he bought out everybody. This so-called Democrat family over here, it's not the family of the Democrats. I'll tell you that. I don't know what the fuck this person did. I don't know what the fuck she said. I don't know what the fuck went on this side of the family. But this side of the family is definitely sick. So now I have to walk back into this because we can't seem to keep this completely pure thought. Like I said, I can stay in any place at any point in time, not at the location of that time, because of how correct I am in a lot of things. So at $4,000, all I'm asking you is to heighten the frequency to the point where I walk into the room and it causes mental confusion. It causes disruption. It should not do that to somebody that's correct in thinking, right? Because the theory is that if everybody's on the same wavelength, then it shouldn't cause a problem in the room. It is. It's causing a big time problem. It shouldn't matter with or without a degree. We have a lottery ticket scanner. Oh my God, I hope they don't win the lottery. I hope they don't. That's a hell of a way to say that that's a fake ticket when every place has that lottery scanner. So, like I said, interesting argument. No, it was not a pleasant conversation to hear the other woman on the other side. So, like I said, there was more done on the road and on the talking and everything than what was conveyed during that time before Aruba. There had to been, because he was not sold on our relationship, and I was hoping he was leaving in certain points of the relationship where it would just be I'd walk away, he would walk away, and I would be able to still figure out how to find a place and get a new job. So, yeah. And no, Batman is not my first ex. It's not. And neither is Lolita. Which is why I don't like how that one insists on lockup. That's not fair to me. I don't go to him. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. I'm a lot more respectful. In fact, I have to answer in meditative thought. Those men that sit up in those mountains, they are constantly in tune with the world. So anybody that's at that level, they will actually be able to hear. They will actually be able to hear. That's exactly why they're in that meditation. That's the like, there's so much to be explored, but yet everybody wants to stay stuck in this basic instinct rut, and it's driving me nuts. We have problems with education. We have problems with people understanding that if you're hiring and you have room to hire, once you're done hiring, you take the sign down. No, what they went and did is hire and get them on an incentive, which they did over there, and then we'll figure out when to cut them off. Okay. Then that means you have money to spend for technology, which is what that other set of Dianetics is for my level. Because I don't have the ability to dish out 15 grand and be able to roam like that. I don't. 4 grand is what I'm going to give. At 4 grand with the amount of weight, and with the old Dianetics, it's enough. It's absolutely enough. So no, there's nothing elaborate. No, I do want that Congo scene and I'm asking for it, but I'm asking it in the Matrix mode, because every single one of us is following along either the path we went in the last loop around, or if somebody's making the correct choice on the correct path, they're going to have to go through like cognitive challenges, and not like being challenged cognitively. It just means that they're going to go through a certain set of logic that's already set in motion by the person that should have been in that path. Okay? Which means that there was an idiot before that smart person. So now, here I am, actually in that correct path, and everybody's getting upset. Everybody's getting upset. Okay, well, they all set that in motion. They bought off the judge. They bought off the therapy counseling group. I remember it. I didn't have to sit there with a phone and document it. I remember it. Because at that point in time, everybody was on the phone. So when everybody's on the phone, that's when I go into YouTube. That's pretty much it. So those two songs, I'm gonna adopt that one song, because I need a break sometimes from the main song. And that other song definitely is completely appropriate in every way. In every way. Not saying that that's what it's gonna come out to be. It's just that song is also another adopted close to it. But like I said, I needed another song to break from. A lot of these other albums and all this stuff, it's just okay. So I achieved it all in one day, so I get a break and that's it. But this diet, though, it's set in motion. It's set in motion. That also means I can't be with men anymore. I can't. Not after what happened with me and Mr. Shields. So